Hello everybody, you're really welcome to this week's version of Monday Matters. In this Monday Matters we talk about something that's, it seems very simple, and it's something that's often overlooked when we run a business, or even when we're looking at our own personal lives and running our own personal financial affairs, and that is the subject of budgeting. For me it's something that when it's done properly and looked at and reviewed regularly, you can have a massive impact on your financial well-being. There is a slight difference between budgeting and forecasting. For me, budgeting is looking at your past and putting a plan on what you want to spend based on your income. And it's always a prerequisite to looking at, four-way forecasting, cash flow planning, etc. But to start and look at a simple budget for both your business and personal life can be transformative in terms of how you go about it. So what I would suggest is, there's a couple of ways of doing it. First of all, look at your business first. Have a look at what you spent this year. Get your figures up to date. Go down through your profit and loss account and just look at the P&L account on its own. Now, if you take the profit and loss account for any business, you will have your income and your sales, and then you will have your purchase cost or direct cost, which will give you a gross profit. And we usually end up with a gross profit percentage of what we make based on our cost of sales. So leave that to one side just for a moment and concentrate on the expense headings in the P&L. For me, there is probably in every business maybe 20, maximum 20, 25 headings in that P&L. And if you take a look at even last couple of years P&L, get out your last set of accounts, look at the P&L, go down through the headings, you will see that probably 80% of those headings are fixed costs. As in, you can get a fixed cost for your accountancy fees, you will have a fixed cost for your licensing fees. So if you look down through each of those headings, you will see, based on last year's and the current year's costs, I know costs are increasing massively across every area of business with the rise in inflation as well. So it is even more important to look at this at this point in time. So between now and let's say your Christmas break, I would urge you to go through each of those costs, look at the cost, decide what it's going to be for the year, and that gives you the 80% fixed. You take that fixed cost for the year and you divide it by 52. So now you know the cost of your fixed cost to run your business. You will also see within that cost that there is some cost like depreciation, which is the writing off of your asset. This is not a cash item, but it is a cost in your P&L. And you may have a tax cost in there. So give your accountant or bookkeeper a shout and ask them to help you with what are those elements that are like depreciation and taxes that you need to budget for the next 12 months. Now we're down to the variable costs. And if you look at your business variable costs, you're going to see things like potentially advertising, marketing spend, anything that you as a discretionary cost to you to spend within the year. Then these are where you get really down to the nitty gritty. You actually give yourself a budget for these costs for the financial year that's ahead. So now you're going to end up with a full cost for your P&L for the year for the 12 months, both fixed and variable cost. The next thing we need to look at is your capital expenditure, and if you want to buy a new asset, or you're changing your car, or you need your equipment, it's a really good time to budget out what the plan is for that for the next 12 months. So now you're going to have a complete cost of your capital expenditure, which is whatever you're spending on buildings, repair, buildings or new machinery or cars, as I said, and you're going to have a fixed and variable cost. This will give you a huge amount of information to start off fresh in the new year and know what you need to do in terms of sales. After you get your budget done, you will have a number that's your break even. So this is how much money you need to make each week or each month based upon your own personal circumstances. That looks at the business. The same thing applies to your personal spending. Go down through each of your costs, look at your TV costs, look at your subscription cost, look at your light and heat cost, and budget those costs. You will then end up with a huge amount of information, and you can start on the process of improving your financial situation. As I said, a couple of weeks ago, we looked at shaving months off your mortgage. We're now moving into the budgeting area, and we will be looking closer to the end of the year at how to set your year up. Because one of the things I will say to everybody here is just a prerequisite. I like to set my year up in quarters, because you have 4 chances to look at your goals. You have 4 different chances to look at your year and planning, and the seasonality usually is a good time for me. So thank you for staying on to the end of the video. I look forward to chatting to you next week, and as usual, please feel free to reach out. You can contact me on social media, or you'll be able to contact me through email or phone. The details are included here.